Today's live is going to be called No Sin, No Demon. Now, I don't pretend to know much, so I need to educate myself some more, to teach you some more, which the good news is I'm willing to do. But I can speak from personal experience. A lot of times, we don't realize we're sinning. We don't know that we're committing sins. And I remember a time that I've always tried to be a nice person. I've always tried to do the right thing. And I remember a time where I was even praying a lot in addition. But things didn't seem to be changing much. And God has always been with me, and He has always helped me. But I was wondering why it was so delayed, or taking so long, or I wasn't seeing the kind of change I wanted to see, or significant change. And I said, well, I have to be patient, and I have to trust God. But there was a little more to it than that. I had to stop sinning. See, I did not know that vaping, since I was addicted to nicotine since I was 16, was a sin, or that smoking, since I had a prescription and it was legal, was a sin. So every day that I smoked and vaped, I was sinning. I did not know that if I was able to go to church and chose not to, that was a sin. Well, it's actually one of the 10 Commandments. I think that's what he meant by keep the seventh-day Sabbath. Yes, that one. So, there's so many things we didn't realize was a sin. I thought if I was angry, but it was justified, it's okay, because it was justified. Then I discovered anger was pride, and that's a sin. And so, how was I expecting God to help me when I was sinning all the time? And, well, God understands if you're not aware of it, but there still is consequences to sin, whether you're aware of it or not. And so I was wondering why things were going wrong in my life. I was wondering why I didn't have the kind of strength that I wanted to have, or that I wasn't making wise decisions, or the self-discipline that I wanted. Doing the right thing is a gift from God, at least doing the right thing consistently and all the time. We are so dependent on God. But here's the beautiful thing. You'd be amazed what God can do. And so, all this time, I was wondering why things went wrong. Well, once I quit smoking, and once I quit vaping, and once I tried my hardest to do the right thing, to control my anger, to do only what's pleasing to God, when I took God seriously and started going to church, that's when I was starting to become proud of myself, because now I did think more clearly. I made much better decisions. There were things I have been doing wrong for years that all of a sudden I realized how to do it the right way. I felt like I became smarter. Oh, and stronger too. That also. And things weren't bothering me as they used to. And then I realized that when I had more self-discipline and I was resisting temptation, that temptation would happen less often or not at all. Because God did say, resist the devil and he will flee from you. Why? Because God will help you if he sees you're making effort. If you're giving in to sin and you're not making effort, how is God supposed to help you? So God sees you putting forth effort, and he says, devil, flee, because She's trying at least, and I'm going to help her where she falls short. And so I didn't even know that gossip was a sin. And actually, anything that doesn't bring about anything good is a sin. For example, complaining. If it doesn't make the person feel better, if it doesn't bring about any good, suggest a solution instead. Only think good thoughts, and don't be disparaging of others, even if they deserve it, even if you think you're justified. Because really you should only think good thoughts and say good things and be helpful and encouraging to others. We sin by not doing enough, by staying quiet, by giving the wrong counsel. And if we are to correct, we should do it out of charity, to help that person spiritually, with the right idea in heart, but not out of anger and not out of revenge. There's so many opportunities to sin. When we see something wrong or something that's gonna happen that's bad, for example, you're going to ride a motorcycle without a helmet, you give that advice. Hey, I had a cousin that rode motorcycle without a helmet and he broke his head. So you want to try to help the person. We are our brother's keeper. We don't say, well, I'm not the one riding that motorcycle. That's not my problem. No, it is. It is our brotherly duty to help one another. So we sin by acting the wrong way. We sin by not doing enough. We sin by looking the other way, encouraging the bad behavior. In so many different ways we can sin. And then, we wonder why things go wrong. Well, it's because we leave ourselves open to demons. Every time we sin, God doesn't even have to be a mean God. He can just let demons do some of the things He allows them to do, if it means we will learn our lesson. And it's like a kid from 0 to 6 years old. They don't reason much. So when they do a bad behavior, you slap them in the hand. When they do something good, you encourage them. That's kind of how life is. Why is there so much evil in the world? Could it be because we have sinned too much? So when we behave badly or act badly, chances are bad things happen. Bad things don't happen just because. There's always a reason behind it. My theory is everything bad comes from the enemy, from evil. Bad feelings, bad things that happen. But everything good comes from God. Everything. We should never take anything for granted. Anything that's good from us comes from God. And so my life has turned around tremendously ever since I learned about all the things, all the different ways that I was sinning that I had no clue I was sinning. And it started with prayer. It doesn't just happen all of a sudden overnight. We have to merit it by trying our best to get to know God through prayer and through reading His Word. And then God will either put the right YouTube video that you watch, or the right person to talk to, or the right idea in your mind. And then little by little, your eyes are opened. But if you're blind, life can be quite intolerable. I know what it's like to be depressed. I know what it's like not to be able to handle things. But when your eyes are open and you do it all for God and you live for God and He becomes the center of your world, of your universe, then not only does life become bearable, it becomes worth living. But worth living not because of what you can do. Worth living because of what you can do for others. And if you want to make a difference in the world, try teaching. And start with your children. Try setting a good example. Try loving the best that you can. Try choosing to do only what's right. Trust your instinct. What doesn't feel right isn't right. Try to avoid any occasion of sin. Yes, there's times that we will fall short. And don't beat yourself up for it, because God knows that you're not doing it on purpose. God knows you're trying. But be always trying. Try to do your best. And stay close to God, because really that's what life is all about. Is getting to know our Creator. And hopefully one day owning up to His promises, that we may live happily in heaven. And not be a stain in heaven. After all, 1/3 of angels fell to demons. What will humans do if angels did that? So this is our training ground. Take it for what it is. But realize that once you educate yourself and you realize that if there's no sin, there's no demon. Once you realize that's the case, and you choose to sin no more, you abandon yourself completely to God, you give Him your all, He will give you His all. And you'll never regret it. Thank you, and God bless. I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. And don't forget to pray. But keep the faith, most of all, no matter what.